So you're choosing to stay with a corn addict in recovery or someone with a sex addiction, and you set a boundary that if they ever do it again, like ever look at corn again, that you are out of the relationship. You are done. That is your red boundary. And I want to talk about something very controversial, and I'm going to try to say this as gently as I possibly can while also giving you something to think about and consider, that this boundary is one of the most dangerous boundaries that you can set when you are trying to actually save the marriage. If you want a way out of the relationship, this is the boundary to set. If you've been with someone who's like 2 years out and shown sobriety, maybe this is a boundary that you can set. But in the beginning, if you want the relationship to work, this is a dangerous boundary, and I want to explain why. Many of you, when I work with you one-on-one, always tell me when we're coaching on boundaries that what you ultimately want is honesty. This boundary does not promote honesty. This is a lie for him to say that he's never tempted. Absolutely not. Especially if this has been going on for decades or a decade, they will be tempted. And even if they haven't been tempted now, they will be tempted again. If you're looking at this from a Christian viewpoint, look at the example of Jesus. Jesus was the most perfect human being that ever walked on earth, right? He was the most righteous man that ever walked the earth, never sinned, and he was an example to us of that. But it also says that Jesus was tempted in every way that we were. When he fasted for 40 days to go up to the mount and get the anointing from God to do his mission, that is the day that Satan decided to go and tempt Jesus and to really put pressure on him to get him to fail. When this man, Jesus, the Son of God, was at his most spiritual high, that's when Satan decided to come in. So I always find that very interesting. And Jesus had the tools to combat that, right? Jesus was prepared to fight that attack. But all these men are not, and especially if they're not doing the work, they do not have the tools to do that. For him to say to you, I have this suddenly out of the blue, is a lie. And this lie is actually the most dangerous that they can believe themselves. It is a denial, truly. I mean, he honestly might believe he's telling you the truth because he believes he can just stop it. It is the most dangerous lie that they can tell themselves. But because you have set the boundary that the relationship is done, if this happens again, this promotes denial, dishonesty, and more lies in the relationship, more covering up of the shame. You actually push them right into the shame by setting this boundary. A better boundary to be set would be that if you have a relapse, if you see something that you're struggling with, please be honest with me. Please be honest with me. It will help rebuild intimacy. It will help rebuild trust, and I will learn to be a safe place for you to come and communicate those things to me. I want to be your partner. If you're a Christian, I want to pray with you through those things. If you can become a safe person for him, you will be a safe place for his heart. You will be a safe place for his struggles. You will be someone that is safe. And right now, by setting this boundary, you are not safe. You are not promoting safety for his feelings and for his failures. You want him to stay as the white knight on his horse and never fail. And that's impossible for any human being, right? So a better boundary would be to set, I need you to be honest with me. If I find something that you have not been honest with me about, that is when we're going to have a problem. That is where there's going to be serious consequences, okay? Versus this, we've talked to so many men. I cannot tell you so many men David has talked to where he's like, I'm on the last straw. My chances are out. I have no more chances. And I'm so scared to tell her the truth. A prime example of this would be like he goes on YouTube or social media, or he's in public, or, he's at the gym, he's gone to the grocery store, whatever it is. He's gone someplace out in public and he's been tempted. He's seen something bad. That's the other part of this, is like, to believe he's never going to see something that causes him to stumble, to maybe even see corn again, is unrealistic. And not that he's going to do it intentionally. A lot of times it's unintentionally. An example could be, I'm at work and a guy pops the phone in front of my face, or a bunch of guys are talking and I can see from his phone that they're looking at corn. What if your boundary is, if I ever see that you've looked at it again, the relationship is done? A lot of these guys take that literally, like quite literally. And so then that's the shame cycle that starts again, and you start to pick up on the signs of that. and then it all is revealed. Like I saw something on YouTube, or you find it because you start digging, right? And that's even worse. And that is where the spiral happens. So my opinion is, don't set this boundary if you want the relationship to work and you want there to be honesty and integrity and a path forward. Set the boundaries. I need you to do recovery. I need you to have accountability. I need you to have a support network, because I know that this is going to be hard for you to recover from. I understand that. What I want is honesty. What I need is integrity, and for you to be working on this. And I will go do the work for me to learn how to navigate this on my own. And then from there, we can do marriage counseling. But never believe them when they say, I've stopped cold turkey, it's all gone. No, this is going to take work to fix. They need some type of safe place to communicate. They need some type of recovery work and therapy and working on stopping points. They need help. And to believe this is a very naive thing to believe. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's a gentle way of saying this, but that is the work that my husband and I do with all, I don't do it with the men. David does it with the men, and I work with the woman on some of these things, and then helping restore the marriage. It's better to have an honest marriage than one that's been covered up with lies and denial.